Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here, me and my crew, I will explain about the public sector accounting standard. So, for the first, my name is Berlinda Putria Ervin, last NEM 371. Here, I will explain about definition of public sector accounting standard. Public sector accounting standards are guidelines that regulate how financial processes in government institutions are carried out. These standards cover all stages of the public financial cycle, starting from planning, budgeting, budget realization, procurement of goods and services, reporting, auditing, and public accountability. Several accounting standards are used in financial practice, such as Financial Accounting Standards or SAK, Government Accounting Standard (SAP), Public Accounting Professional Standard (SPAP), State Financial Audit Standard (SPK), and these standards serve as a reference to ensure the financial management is transparent, accountable, and in accordance with applicable regulation. For the next material explained by my friends.
On this slide, we discuss the type of public sector accounting standard. The first type in Government Accounting Standard or SAP. This standard consists of accounting principles used in preparing and presenting government financial statements. They aim to achieve three main objectives. First, accountability, which show the government responsibility in managing public resources. Second, management, which support effective financial planning and control. Third, transparency, which provides clear and open financial information to the public. In addition, these standards emphasize intergenerational equity, meaning that current financial policies should not create a burden. The second type is accounting standard for non-profit organizations. These standards are applied by non-profit entities such as foundation, NGO, and social organizations. They generally use the accrual basis of accounting to recognize revenues and expenses. Net assets in non-profit organizations are classified into three categories: permanently restricted net assets, which must be maintained according to donor requirements; temporarily restricted net assets, which are limited for a certain period or purpose; and unrestricted net assets, which can be used freely for generally operation. Overall, these standards help both government and non-profit organizations produce financial reports that are more accountable, transparent, and reliable.
Moving on to our next topic, let's discuss the scope of public sector accounting standards. On this slide, we will focus on the primary objective behind the development of these accounting guidelines. First, we look at transaction recording. The goal here is to provide applicable accounting guidelines for recording the financial transaction of current public sector organization. In other words, the standards act as a roadmap without a clear set of rules. Public sector entities might record their expense or revenues inconsistently, which makes it difficult to track how public funds are actually being used. Secondly, we have the standardization of procedures. This aims to provide a chart of accounts recording procedures and standard journal entries. By having a uniform chart of account, we ensure that every department uses the same names and codes for the same types of transaction. This effectively creates a universal language across the entire public sector, making audits and financial analysis much more efficient. Now, why is this specifically important for our context here? Let's look at the need for public sector accounting standards in Indonesia and the benefits of implementing it. The first major need is improving quality and reliability. The focus is on improving the quality and reliability of the accounting and financial report of public sector organizations. Reliability is the backbone of public trust. When reports are high quality and accurate, the public and the government can make better informed decisions based on real data rather than guesswork. Next is performance enhancement, specifically enhancing financial and economic performance. You see, good accounting is about recording history and future management. Better tracking leads to less waste and more strategic allocation of resources, which ultimately boosts our national economic health. Furthermore, we are striving for harmonization of requirements, which means aligning economic and financial reporting requirements. This ensures that our internal recording methods match the broader data need for national economic planning. Lastly, we are promoting a uniform accounting basis to encourage harmonization across different jurisdictions. In a country as vast as Indonesia, with many local governments from provinces to regions, using a uniform basis like public sector accounting standard ensures that financial reporting from Sumatra is comparable to one from Papua. This creates a truly seamless and transparent national financial system.
Next, in this slide, we will explain the standard setting techniques, specifically the steps in developing accounting standard based on Suarjono 2006. For the first, the process begins with evaluating issues at the initial stage. At this stage, the standard setting body identifies problem or weakness in these existing accounting standards. Second, they conduct research and analysis. This step is important to gather relevant data and examine possible solutions. Third, the committee prepares and distributes a discussion memorandum to all interested parties. This document outlines the issues and proposed approach. Fourth, a public hearing is held to allow stakeholders to express their opinions or provide feedback. 5. The board analyzes and considers public response to ensure the different perspectives are taken into account. 6. They issue the initial draft of the proposed standard for future review. 7th, they again analyze and consider written responses submitted by stakeholders regarding the draft. 8th, after reviewing all feedback, the board makes a final decision about whether the standard shall be issued. Finally, the standard is officially published, meaning it becomes effective and can be implemented. In conclusion, the standard setting process is systematic, transparent, and involves public participants to ensure the quality and reliability of accounting standards.
Here are the key differences between Government Regulation number 71 of 2010 and Government Regulation number 24 of 2005. Government Regulation number 24 of 2005 used a castor accrual basis with limited financial reports, simple SAP coverage, and was not yet fully aligned with IPSAS. Its main purpose was to transition the accounting system from cash-based to accrual-based. Next, Government Regulation number 71 of 2010 upgrade to a full accrual basis with more complete financial reports, comprehensive SAP coverage, and is more aligned with IPSAS standard. Its main purpose was the full implementation of accrual-based SAP. Next, types and relationship between public sector accounting standard. Number 1. Nomenclature standard with the planning and accountability process. Number 2. Public sector accounting standards serve as guidelines for recording and reporting financial transactions in public sector organizations. Number 3. State finance audit standards serve as guidelines for conducting audits on state financial management and accountability. Number 4. Cost accounting standards serve as the basis for measuring the amount of investment to be made.
Okay, next I will explain about PSAK 45 as the non-profit financial accounting standards. PSAK 45 was issued by the Indonesian Institute of Accountants or IAI to provide guidelines on how non-profit organizations should prepare and present their financial reports. Unlike profit-oriented entities, Non-profit organizations focus on achieving social, religious, or humanitarian objects rather than generating profit. The main purpose of financial reporting under PSAK 45 is to present information about the activities carried out by the organizations. This information helps donors, stakeholders, and the public to understand how resources are obtained and used to support the organization's mission. PSAK 45 is also emphasized funds restrictions, which are important in nonprofit accounting. Funds are classified based on the restrictions set by the donors. These include permanent restrictions. For the one, permanent restriction is where funds must be maintained indefinitely. For the second one, temporary restrictions, where funds can be used after certain conditions are met. And the third is restricted donations, which are limited to specific purposes. And the last one is unrestricted donations, which can be used freely by the organizations. Overall, PSAK 45 helps transparency, accountability, and comparability in the financial reporting of nonprofit organizations.
The next one is difference between public and private sector characteristic. The public sector oriented toward public service and social welfare, not profit. The second one, accountable to the public and legislative bodies. The last one must maintain transparency because public sector use public fund. And private sector, the first one is oriented toward profit and business growth. Second one, accountable to owners and shareholders. And the last one, performance is measured by financial indicator such as net profit, ROI, sales growth, and share value.